If you watch my channel, you'll know that I like to experiment with my training and really enjoy trying what works for me. Sometimes I do things that are quite weird, all in the name of experimentation. With my A2 pulley injury, it was very much the same. I spoke to a few climbers who had similar injuries and heard how they dealt with them, as well as looked up a more conventional advice from a physio, and then came up with a bit of a strategy. By the way, I'm not a physio, so this is not advice, just simply a documentation of my journey. The focus was on keeping positive, although I'm not going to lie, it didn't come naturally. I had to make myself look for the growth mindset. Also to learn about what works in terms of rehab and try and keep as much of my strength as possible, so I could try and come back stronger. I also heard stories of climbers re-injuring a pulley because they did too much too soon and didn't let it heal properly. So I made a promise to myself to be really focused on full recovery. The first thing I did was to schedule a physio appointment for an ultrasound scan to know exactly what is wrong with it. I could get one in a week's time, so meanwhile, this was my routine for the first couple of weeks. I also kept the finger in a makeshift splint for the first few days. Good morning. It's day 4 of my finger injury recovery journey, and I'm going to take you through what I've been doing every morning and every night for the past 4 days. I've got an ice bath and an anti-inflammatory patch that I will put on my finger. So I'm going to just show you exactly what I've been doing. So this is hopefully to reduce the inflammation in my finger in the aftermath of the injury. So the finger's looking really good. It doesn't really look that swollen anymore, and I've got a much better range of movement in it. But I don't really want to move it at all because I just want to wait for the physio appointment on Friday. But I'm going to show you the morning and nighttime routine for the finger. I'm going to put my finger in there for 10 minutes in a second, and then I've got the anti-inflammatory patches. These have been given to me by my friends Sam and Nat, and apparently it's really helped them, so I've been doing that every morning and every night. They last for 12 hours, so I'll show you how to do that afterwards. And then I've also been taking some collagen because that's meant to help. I'll usually just hold my hand in here so that it definitely covers the A2. So just hold it like that, and you can see my hand is super red now. So hopefully this will do something because it's quite uncomfortable. I was looking for different ways that I could work out that wouldn't hurt my finger, and it was really fun to come up with new exercises and adapt my favorite ones. I do a lot of bar work and weights, and that's tricky with an injured finger, so I got myself one of these weightlifting hooks. I'm about to go to the wall and do a workout just to keep myself strong and make sure that I don't lose any of my hard-earned strength gains. And I'm really excited because this came through the post. Don't know if you can see it. It's basically it goes around my wrist, and then you can see it's got a little hook, and you put the bar and weights on the hooks. So that means that I should be able to do deadlifts and rows or any exercises like that without it impacting my finger, which is really exciting. So I'm gonna see if I can do some pull-ups as well, which would be really cool. So you just kind of hang the hooks on the bar and then do pull-ups. So I'm gonna try that, and hopefully that will work as well, because then I can keep my pulling strength
But yeah, I'm really excited. I actually get to move a bit.
I found it much better for lifting weights than for doing pull-ups. It is a little bit painful on the wrists, and it was also adding a bit of pressure onto my fingers. So it wasn't super comfortable, but definitely it was better than without it. And it allowed me to use similar climbing exercises, so that's a win. Because it was my ring finger that was injured, it didn't stop me from being able to hold the parallettes and do some exercises on them, or use them with a TRX and just kind of hold it with 3 fingers without putting any pressure on the ring finger.
So I just got home. I had my physio appointment this morning, and I've only just got round to filming because I was really late for work after the appointment. So in a nutshell, I've got a torn, fully ruptured A2 pulley. And I've seen it on like the ultrasound and everything. I'm gonna like make a plan now with regards to the trip and my training and how I'm gonna approach everything. So I'll see you guys tomorrow.
So once I had a confirmation about what exactly the injury was, it was start to make a recovery protocol. I started using a pulley protection splint that was given to me by my physio. It is similar to just a normal ring, and I think this step is really important, as what it does is it presses the tendon closer to the bone so that you don't have that bowstringing effect and your tendon will heal closer to the bone. I found it very annoying though to wear, especially when I was working, as it's bulky and I couldn't quite close my finger, so sometimes I just swapped it with a tape during the day and then use it mostly at night. There are lots of different protocols, but I chose to go with the climbing doctor's recommendation. He's got an excellent video on pulley injury. I added a link in the description below. It is really well explained and it gives you a good guidance to the best practice. Put it that way, if I re-injured my finger again, I would just go back to that video. I based my recovery protocol on that, tweaking it a bit as I wasn't always able to do everything whilst being in the van and on the road and, just life getting in the way. But I tried to be as consistent as possible.
I got one of these today. It's like a very tiny portable fingerboard, but I can actually hang the weight off the fingerboard rather than just like hang down with my body weight. So that's really cool because I do all of my hangboarding like with a fingerboard that's mounted at the top, and then I just hang. But obviously I can't really do that. So I'm gonna start using this little thing, which is really cool. So I'm gonna eventually rehab the finger. So you kind of like progressively load the finger once like you enter that stage of your recovery. But also I've got 9 other fingers that are absolutely healthy and I don't want to lose any strength in my fingers. So I'm like really excited because it feels like kind of climbing. So I'm gonna start with this tomorrow, just come up with a bit of a plan and start fingerboarding a bit, which is exciting.
I did drag and half crimp on my right hand and 2-finger drag and half crimp, as well as some monos on the left. I was really careful to not go on the max on the middle finger, which is just next to the injured one, as I think small amount of load might still be going into it. This worked really well for me, at least psychologically, because I felt like I was doing something climbing related very early on. I didn't go crazy with the weight, as I had never done mono hangs and don't have it quite calibrated in terms of what is too much and what is not enough weight, so I thought it's best to be sensible. I didn't climb the first week. I did start in week 2, just a little bit, and I just moved about on very easy terrain. As it was my ring finger, I felt like I could use 2 front fingers. I did manage to do some routes as well as boulders, choosing corners and slabs where I can just use the 2 fingers more for balance. Obviously, this is very, very easy to get wrong. The danger is that you either re-injure your finger or your foot pops and there is more weight on the other fingers and one of them goes as well. So I think I was quite anxious about making it worse, so I was very conservative with what I was climbing. I also did the standard no hands climbing outside. and realised that maybe I should stop doing so many pull-ups and start climbing slabs, as I was not very good at it at all.
So it's day 5 and I'm at Hurkling Stones with Alex. The conditions are absolutely stellar. It's like incredible day. I can't climb just because I want to make sure I don't hurt my finger, but what I'm going to do is some no hands climbing. So I'm going to do some Johnny Doe style exercises just because it's like you almost can't not be outside on a day like today. We're just heading back now, and it's been really pleasant, and I'm so glad I came out and not just monged at home and felt sorry for myself, because I've had a really good day and I got to do some climbing, which actually was like really fun, and looks like I've uncovered some more things I can work on. But yeah, it's just absolutely stunning, and yeah, just trying to keep positive and not let one finger injury just get me down.
The finger was feeling better and better, and I was also feeling better and better because I kept my strength and workouts and, kept continuing to do things that make me happy and healthy, both physically and mentally. I did take a few days off over Christmas as I was ill, and our long trip technically started, so we decided to go to Europe at the end of January instead to maximize the 3 months of EU travel. This would give me a good 7 weeks to rehab at home, as well as a follow-up ultrasound scan to make sure that it's healing properly. And then hopefully I could climb almost to my limit towards the end of April when our trip ends. Not wanting to waste time being at home, we decided to head to Scotland for a bit of a road trip after Christmas, where the next stage of my recovery begins.